Well, let's start with Lions-Ravens. And when you looked at the football schedule early this season, this may not have been a game you'd circled. A lot of Lions fans probably were ready for it because they, to be fair to them, expected to be very good this year. And at 5-1, you have to say that they are. And I'm excited to see this matchup because the Lions, a lot of people are saying right now, yeah, they're 5-1, but who have they really beat? You know, they played the Seahawks and lost that game. They played the Chiefs, but Kelsey was out. Chris Jones was out. All the other games they're playing right now, Falcons are okay. Buccaneers are okay. Have they really proved themselves yet? And this is an opportunity to go into Baltimore, play Lamar Jackson, who's playing at an MVP level, and get a big statement win, another statement win. And what's exciting for me about this, Ziggy, is the Ravens, we know what they like to do. They want to bully you up front and run down your throat. They run more than anyone else in the league, almost 34 times per game, 203 total attempts on the year. That leads all of football. And when you think about the great defenses in the NFL right now, the Eagles come to mind in that nasty front seven. That defensive line is amazing. The 49ers people will talk about. The Browns are making headlines every week, it seems. But do you know who the number one team in the NFL in terms of rushing yards allowed per game is, Mr. Ziegler?
Who is it, Paul?
It's the Detroit Lions at 64.7 yards per game allowed this year. And that defense is top 10 in basically every category this year, or in most, in yards per game and points per game allowed. The Lions rank in top 10. We talked about that in the Week 6 reaction show. This Lions defense is making big strides, and that's as much a reason that they're up here at 5-1 and a big contender as the NFC as the offense is. So I can't wait to see strength versus strength in this one. Are the Lions able to shut down the Ravens? Because their offense will be fine in Detroit. But can they shut down Lamar, who's, again, the only person this year to go up against the Browns offense and have success has been Lamar Jackson. Where do you stand on a first glance at this game? Are you thinking that Detroit might be able to go in there and beat the Ravens?
Everybody's excited about the Ravens this week, right? You listen to the media and everyone's talking Ravens. Well, here are the quarterbacks the Ravens have faced through week 6. Just to give you an idea, they faced debut CJ Stroud, injured Joe Burrow, Gardner Minshew, debut Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the Pickett-Trubisky duo, and Ryan Tannehill. That's it. That is who. And Ryan Tannehill, let's not forget, he got hurt and they basically got to cruise the second half of the game against Malik Willis, who might be the least situationally aware player I've ever seen. Right? The announcers would say the only thing he can't do is take a sack here. And then he take a 15-yard sack. I'm not kidding. This happened 3 or 4 plays in a row.
Oh, I remember seeing the text from you and Zach coming in about Malik Willis. You were not happy.
So this Ravens team, people are talking about how the Lions have improved a lot because all they've done is beaten the Chiefs by 1 point and otherwise have had a pretty easy schedule. Well, the Ravens have played a lot of tough-fought games. Their average margin of victory is lower than the Lions. And they haven't played the good teams either, right? They lost to the Steelers. They lost in overtime to Minshew. It was closer than it should have been against the Titans. It was closer than it should have been against the Bengals. I'm not seeing, there's a lot to like about this team, but the Lions are far and away their hardest opponent. So the thought that you're getting that the Lions just can't go to Baltimore and win, I think is outrageous.
Well, are you hearing that a lot? I haven't seen too much of that, but is that the vibe that you're picking up, that the Lions can't win this game? Because I mean, we both disagree with that.
I'm hearing a lot of people say that no one's doubting Lamar Jackson, right? But
that's fair.
People have been doubting the offense around him. But otherwise, no, I haven't heard a whole lot. People are saying, look, the Ravens have far and away the better quarterback. They've got a great defense. I mean, look, and it's true, right? You look at the kinds of players they've got on the defense. Roquan Smith, very good. Marlon Humphrey, very good. Kyle Hamilton, you and I know him well, very good.
Good
Jadeveon Clowney having a little bit of a renaissance season. So, yeah, there's definitely things to like about this team, but I'm not seeing it. I really think the Lions are going to go in and dominate. The team's just too hot.
I got some numbers for you right here. And I want you guys, Zach, I'd like to loop you in on this one too here for a second. Pick a quarterback, ready? It should be pretty easy to do this. Quarterback A has 1,618 yards, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on the season. Quarterback B, 1,593 yards, 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions on the season. Quarterback A or B? Who are you picking?
I hate this crap, Paul.
I like A.
I know you hate this, but I love this stuff. Quarterback A, Jared Goff. Quarterback B, Patrick Mahomes. Both 5-1. And when you look at Jared Goff this season, first in passes of 20-plus yards, third in QB rating, third in yards per attempt, fourth touchdowns responsible for, fifth in passing yards, tied fourth completion percentage. Everywhere you look, dude's top 5. He's having a phenomenal season right now. And he kind of has been floating along quietly because the Lions themselves are getting a lot of publicity right now, as they should. But Jared Goff and the success he's having this year is kind of going under the radar a little bit. And a lot of that is because, Dan Campbell is such a public coach. He's such a personable guy. David Montgomery has had some big games. He took over the other night against the Packers. He was the media darling. But Jared Goff has been awesome. So what I want to ask you, Ziggy, and I feel like this is where people can really start to either get mad at us or in support. People will have strong reactions to what you say here. If I told you tomorrow that the Detroit Lions need to win a football game to save your life, and I gave you the option of having Jared Goff start the game or another quarterback, I'd like to hear what you have to say. Ready? Jared Goff or Trevor Lawrence?
I got to go Trevor Lawrence.
Goff or Dak Prescott?
Dak's had some tough games. Give me Goff.
Matthew Stafford. Justin Herbert.
That's a tough one. I think Herbert's the better player, but he's looked bad the past couple of games.
Wow.
Give me Herbert.
Oh, okay. I thought for a second you were going to go.
I had to think about it.
All right, here's an easy one. Kirk Cousins.
Jared Goff.
Oh, my God.
Goff is just better Cousins this year.
Fair, very fair. Jalen Hurts.
Man, Paul, that's another curveball. I'll tell you what, Jalen Hurts, he looked great last year. We haven't seen the same stuff out of him this year. I'm taking Jared Goff. He will deliver the ball.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's 3-3 now. We got 3 more quarterbacks. Some big ones. Lamar Jackson.
Lamar's just too much of a threat in the rushing game. You got to take Lamar.
Tua.
Jared Goff's the better version of Tua. Give me Goff.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Jared Goff is putting up all the numbers Tua is without 2 all-world wide receivers.
What do you mean? He's got Amon-Ra St. Brown, all-world receiver.
Yeah, versus Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle for most of his games. Yeah,
hey, here's the tiebreaker right now. Current Joe Burrow. Yep.
I still don't trust that calf. He's looked okay. But Jared Goff, you can count on him week in, week out. He's going to play well. I think I got to take Goff over what we've seen from Burrow this year.
Wow. So in a football game tomorrow to save your life, you take Jared Goff over Joe.
Given what we've seen this year, absolutely.
Zach?
I'm sorry. He lost all credibility when he said Tua wasn't as good.
All right, wow. Well, we'll have to see what people say about that. People should be irate about the Kirk Cousins statement, but
they really shouldn't.
No, they won't. People will be very on board with that. Okay. So a couple big guys right there. Burrow, Tua, Hurts.
Wait, how many yards is Goff thrown for?
He's thrown for like 16-18 to Tua's like, what, 18-50?
You see, 16-18 for Goff. I don't have Tua in front of me right now. Yeah. Tua's been awesome. Yeah. I'm not, look, this isn't my list. I just wrote down the names.
I'm just saying, Tua's 5 interceptions, Goff has 3.
So it should be a really fun game this weekend, Lions and Ravens. Another probably game of the week here for Detroit, or at least one of the games of the week, involves the Lions, which, fun for their fan base because they keep winning right now. They're winning all these games.
All right, we can move on from the Lions, I think.
We'll move on. I'll just say this much. I'll say this much. Hold on. Aiden Hutchinson, he had a quiet week last week against the Buccaneers, right? 3 tackles, 0 sacks, some nice pressures. Watch out from against the Ravens. I think he's got the speed and size to take down Lamar.
And one final thought from me on this. The Lions feel like a team. They feel like a team. They feel like a unit right now. Everyone's playing good football. There's really nowhere you look and there's too big of a hole. The Ravens, on the other hand, at this current moment in time, are very reliant on Lamar Jackson. If he's not playing superstar football, they're going to struggle to win games. And that's one spot where I might actually be leaning Detroit because they're just a really good team top to bottom. And Baltimore has a little bit more holes and a little more issues that they need to work out, where Detroit something could go wrong, but another unit can step up very easily. It should be a great game.